Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! And now in 4K. This color is pretty, but it's going to be blue versus blue unless I change it. So we're going to leave this for a little bit of time for those of you who enjoy this color, but we're going to switch it to red versus blue in a couple of minutes. Bottom left, for your Patreon cast this week, it is Sharp, the Terran player. And in the top left, we have a blue Zerg player. It is Hyuk. Alright, so these two guys, incredible players, elite players at this stage of a Brood Wars history. And thank you very much to RJB for supplying me with this replay in a huge replay pack here on Circuit Breakers. Alright, so a TVZ here. I know I've been doing a lot of PvT, and we're going to do a little bit of a ZVT here today. If you're watching this the week of March the 6th, thank you very much for being a supporter of mine at patreon.com/FalconPaladin for at least $1 a month. That's all it takes, just $1 a month. You can get access to these replays 1 month before anybody else. And if you're watching this at the end of March, or maybe into April, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Brood War stuff 5 times a week in 4K. Is this? Oh, that's too fast. That's ×2. Okay. Speed check. That's good. Everything's fine. Terran player going for a barracks inside the main base. He hasn't scouted or anything at all. Circuit Breakers, again, is a fairly Terran-favored matchup, both against Protoss and against Zerg, just because these side bases are in pits. And any bases that's in a pit, it means you're going to set up tanks on the high ground, and tanks are going to murder you. It's just the way it is. Are we hatch firsting on a 4-player map? We are. We're going for a 12-hatch Rooney. That's fine with me, honestly. 4-player map, hard to scout out, but check this. SCV gets on in here, sees what's going on. Let me check. There we go. Man, clicking is sometimes a very difficult. Oh, did I not get him? Yeah? Anyway, structure pool coming up at virtually the same time. Nothing really crazy about that whatsoever. And at this point, we'll keep this. It's like a cerulean blue, right? It's pretty. I like it a lot, honestly. This is it's a nice shade of blue. Reminds me of beautiful coastal waters that I've seen in pictures from like Costa Rica and stuff. Never actually been to any of those tropical places. The beaches I've been to have been in like Southern California, which are they're fine beaches. They're not tropical beaches down there. And in places like Massachusetts, which are definitely not tropical beaches. So one day I'd like to go to someplace like Florida, someplace like, I don't know, the Virgin Islands, some kind of a nice place where the water is beautiful and the sand is soft and there's a gentle breeze. That's what I'm interested in. I've never actually done that beach experience before. I don't know what percentage of the world has. Like, a lot of people are kind of born in really central parts of continents, like the middle of Russia or the middle of China or the middle of Africa or the middle of South America, and just getting to a coast would require way too much for them. They don't have the resources for it. So I'm wondering, it's kind of a privileged thing, I guess, based on geography, right, where you were born. Anyway, the game is happening here. Bunker coming up at the front. Again, not super worried about early Ling pressure just because that was a hatch first play. It's not like 6 Lings with speed are going to show up anytime soon. The speed is not even halfway complete. So slow Lings showing up. Bunker done. SCV's pulled off the line just in case. This position basically means the Lings, if they want to get up this ramp, they have to go all the way around, which they don't want to do. They want a straight shot. The bunker shuts them down from doing that. Cool. Lair on the way after speed. Very nice. 4-minute lair timing. Ooh, sub 4-minute lair timing. Hot stuff here from Hyuk. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And that Spire getting started at 4 minutes. Thank you very much. So I know that Mutalisk is the preferred method, right? Preferred method to open against Terran. I just wonder, I don't know. I just wonder how good a lurker opening would be. There's just, you could defend pretty well if you got lurkers out fast, right? You can siege up fairly well if there are lurkers out fast. Especially if your opponent's not going for a fast factory. Like, this is... Urda's blind is the problem. The Zerg player has no idea if this is a lot of factories or if this is a fast tank. If there's a fast tank, suddenly the lurker is not as good of an idea. But how many scans are available? And that's what the missile turrets are for anyway. I mean, any good Terran player is going to throw it in an engineering bay and get those turrets up. And turrets, again, provide good defense against both lurkers and against Mutalisks. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's just the mutas can avoid the turrets to a certain extent, but the lurkers can't really fly around and try to avoid them. They have to be right at the front, you know? Anyway, marine count is getting high enough that I'm pretty sure Hyuk is considering... Okay, so this is a double barracks opening. There's that engineering bay timing. Yeah, as is tradition, as the spire is just finishing up. It feels a little bit late. We're going to go to red versus blue now, so sharp is suddenly red. I know it's a shock to your systems. We'll try to get through it, huh? Yeah, 6 mutas on the way, and the turret production, I think, needs to begin approximately right the heck now. Yeah, these lings need to get out of here. They're just kind of trying to make sure that Sharp's not moving out. If Sharp's going to start sprinting up towards the Zerg base, he needs to start tossing down some Sunkens. Creep colonies first, and then morphing them into Sunkens. But as it stands, staying at home. I mean, this is an anti-Mutalisk defense play. Missile turret production has completed at the natural base. Very nice. The main base has one coming up as well, and another one coming in. This might be overkill, but again, Hyuk has been known to enjoy his mutas. He's making 3 more of them. And really, in the current meta, what we're generally looking at here is a lot of Mutalisks. This is not a situation where the Zerg just makes 5 and then moves into something else. It's a lot of mutas. And I'm not sure if that's because Soma has inspired, not just Soma, but a lot of Zerg players have found a lot of success in just going Mutaling against Terran. I'm not sure if that's what this game is. I know it's a recent replay from the year 2020, if not 2019, but no older than that, I guess, is what I would say. So mutas, I don't know about. This feels like a trap, guys. I don't know if you want to be coming back here at all. Okay, so they do escape. None of their mutas have died yet, but this is just asking for a dead mutalisk right here. There we go. 1 goes down. 2. Oh, was that 3? Yeah, 3 mutas going down there. Brutal stuff. Third base obviously running quite nicely for the Zerg. Putting his Queen's Nest in the top right is an interesting play for sure. So at this stage, we are going for Hydralisk Den, but what keeps the third base safe is not going to be lurkers at the top of the ramp immediately. It's going to be this Mutaling stuff out on the map, and basically saying, hey, Sharp, if you want to move out, I'm going to pick off your Marines from the edges of your group over and over again. What are you going to do about it? Basically, try to kill the Mutalisks. Maybe don't overstim. We don't want to do that. Stimming, yeah, stimming without really getting anything forward is not a great idea. It just drains energy off of your medics unnecessarily. All right. Is that a hive? That is a 7.5-minute hive starting. Woo! From beyond. He's like, all right, I'm playing against Bio. I want Dark Swarm. I want Plague real fast. This is going to be a big enough ball to move out and threaten my mutas eventually. That's another stim without getting anything for it. Yeah, I mean, generally, if you want to stim, it's to move from point A to B quickly. Point A to point B quickly, or killing a Mutalisk, or killing some Zergling. You're killing something, right? If you stim, just kind of hang out, it's not a super fantastic play at all, honestly. So far, I'm going to say that Hyuk is in a fantastic position. He's looking good. He's looking strong. He is basically even on supply with the Terran player here. At this point in time, that's amazingly good. That is so good for the Zerg player Hyuk here. Ugh, that's a Marine for a Mutalisk. Not a good trade. You don't be trading Marines for mutas. Marines are 50 minerals. Yep. Are we jumping? We are kind of going for this, but not enough lings to make that happen. It's a viable play, but all the medics died. Oh, my target firing. Wow, the target firing here. Is it a... No, it's not enough. It can't possibly be enough. These are +1 Marines with range. That said, he got them. I mean, a couple of them fell back into bunkers. But wow, Hyuk traded all of his lings and about, what is that? We had 11, we have 4 now. That's 8. 7? Whatever. It's like 8 mutas died. But again, it reset the Marine count, basically. Not entirely. There, again, are a few in these bunkers. But not a ton. Which is a bit of a problem. But yeah, we're just going barracks. Barracks, 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 barracks. Science vessel. SCV comes up and says, what's going on up here? All of your tech is up here? And you don't have a Nidus Canal yet? Yeah, this really feels like a Zerg win. And I gotta say, I consider Sharp the better player of these two. Not by a ton, but there is an advantage. But this game, Hyuk is just playing it really well. Okay, hold up. Maybe don't lose your Mutalisks. He's trying to use this high ground. It's not working out particularly well, but the lurkers are here. Now the bio's like, all right, well, we're just going to back it up. We're going to wait for a Radiate to finish, and it is on the way. Consume is coming in, and Adrenal Glands is almost done already. This cannot feel good, and we've got some Scourge. In case dropships move out, in case the Science Vessel decides to wander over, they have to contend with these guys. I gotta say, this is looking, again, excellent for the Zerg. If you are still on 2 bases at 10 minutes, there's really... I mean, that's an armory. No sign of a 3rd base under construction yet for the Terran. That's bad news. All right. So Sharp is trying to move out here and get something done at this 3rd base. The problem is Consume will be done by the time they get there. Hyuk knows he's coming, so it's not like you can catch this by surprise. Look at this. He's just... Oh, Science Vessel down. Everything dies, though. I don't know about that trade. I am not convinced that was an incredible trade. But the Science Vessel down means these guys don't want to come over here because there's going to be lurkers. They don't want to go anywhere because there's lurkers. Oh, did they just snipe a Defiler? Couple vultures out. Oh my gosh. 2 Defilers sniped. Okay. This vulture paying for himself 2 kills. And 2 Defilers. That's fantastic. All right, he says, we'll just go after the natural base then. How's that sound? Oh, a 4th is on the way, though. And he signed up a 3rd. This has got to be a 3rd base constructing SCV, and it is. Okay, so 3rd base coming up. Another Science Vessel dead. Pull back, pull back! All right, one of the Scourge escapes with 2 HP. They are squishy. They are squishy, but they're fast and they hit hard. And those are the trades. You can't be fast and hit hard and be tanky. That is not how RTS is built. That goes against all the principles of the game. Plague being researched. And I just cannot shake the feeling. It's 105 to 69 supply. Sharp is suddenly way ahead. Marine production, their supply, and they're cheap, and they are fast to build. So if you're going for the strategy as a Terran, you're going to have a ton of stuff. Vultures, is this a mech transition? Vehicle weapons coming in. Another factory under construction. This feels like a mech transition. He's not lifting his barracks, though. Not yet. This could be mech transition, and this could also just be adding tanks to the bio composition. Which, sure, we don't see it a lot. Usually it's going to be a lot of Marines and Firebats and Medics and Science Vessels, or it's going to be mech with the Vultures and the Goliaths and the tanks. Marine tank on early pushes and kind of mid-game stuff makes sense, but a late-game comp of Marine tank has never really been what I've seen Terrans do. That said, doesn't seem impossible. So we'll see what Sharp tries to do here. That's another base coming up. This Ling jumping down here could shut this sucker down. Shut it right on down. Hey, if you're watching this in 4K on your super fancy monitor, or maybe on your TV that's 4K, let me know. Tell me if it's worth it. Tell me if you're like, wow, this is a lot better. Because these are bigger file sizes for me. And, oh, defensive Dark Swarm here. But yeah, put it in the comments. I'll respond. Thank you. Plague on some of these units, but being plagued doesn't mean, you're doing less damage. Lurker down. Drones pulling back, trying to get inside that Dark Swarm there. Firebat kills 3 drones. These guys are all extremely injured. Yeah, Hydraling should be able to clean them out. All right, shuts that down. But guess who dropped also in the main base, just at a different position, and the Macro Hatch is going to die, but everybody gets plagued again. Oh, boy. All right. So the hatchery looks like it's going to go down, and it does. These units, trying to focus a lurker, trying to focus, I don't know, a defiler, whatever we're into here. These guys, 4 kills. And then the medics are going to go down because there's nothing to defend them. All right. Science facility wanders over this way. I don't know if I missed some siege tank shenanigans or what, but like maybe get over here and kill this thing. There's nothing defending it. Are there any? There's not even any spider mines here. So yeah, Science Vessel goes down. More factories in production, and this really feels like a mech transition. But he's keeping his barracks at home for some reason. Yeah, no lurkers. That's not happening. Oh boy. 2 of them go down. 1 does manage to sneak in there behind the mineral line at the 4th, and does get at least drone kill. 2 drone kills. Science Vessel or Science Facility goes down, which is so weird to me. You want those Science Vessels versus Zerg, right? I can't think of a reason not to have it. This Marine alone in the middle of Nowheresville, and he's gonna live somehow. That should not be possible. You should not be able in a TVZ to be running around the middle of the map shooting an overlord and nobody murders you. I'm like, extremely lucky Marine here is what I'm trying to say. The great news for Sharp is that he managed to get his 4th base up and he's totally fine. Nothing even threatened it as far as I know. Is there still, this thing is still up here. Crazy stuff. All right. So according to the upgrades that we're seeing in the production, we're definitely full swing into mech now. Out of Sharp. So have we, I don't know that we've seen, we have seen mech versus Terran recently on the channel. We haven't necessarily seen a Marine medic transition into mech on the channel very recently, but it's, again, it's very viable. That is, Terrans have just a lot of options when it comes to playing TVZ, especially on this map where, again, the Zerg doesn't want to take these side bases, and it hurts them. Ah, look, there we go. Now we're floating our barracks out. The great floating of the barracks has begun. 4 ultras in production. Chitinous plating coming in here at 15 minutes. It's 151 to 149 supply. The Zerg player really should be up at this point. Man, I was so confident that Hyuk was way ahead, but Sharp gambled, took his 4th base sooner than he really should have been able to, and he's reaping the rewards right now. It's exactly what he's doing. Hydra versus Vulture is not a fair fight for Vultures. Again, most things are not fair fights for Vultures. They're really good against things like Zerglings and Zealots, but other than that, they don't do super duper well. Check out the drop action. That's right, Vulture drops. Get your Vulture drops here at the natural base, and several drones are dying here too. Worker count is 51 for the Zerg and 76 for the Terran. Pull the workers. Is he worried about this? He's worried about this little Vulture thing in the middle of the map. That was like every drone at this base died. There's one left. It's 148 to 154 supply. Sharp has a 76 to 45 worker lead. He's trying to build a base over here. These Lings are in spitting distance of this. They know, they can see it. Just send the Lings down to kill it. I know you're worried about everything else that's going on right now. I totally understand. Hydras are doing the role of Dragoons. Are they just waiting for this to finish and then they'll kill it? But it can just lift. You can't kill it. Yeah, I mean, at this point, Hyuk knows. Hyuk knows what he's dealing with. It's going to be the mech. The answer for him is going to be Hydralisks. It's going to be really upgraded Ultras. It's going to be Zerglings with good upgrades, too. Man, this base is done. This it really shocks me that he's like, they both know that the other one is there. Hey, there's Lings here. Cool. Hey, there's a command center here. Cool. They have a truce for some reason. I don't know what it is. Although, you know, Vultures with speed, kind of hard to catch, especially if they have that +1 armor. Working on the +2. 6 Vultures at a time are in production. Sharp is playing this so incredibly well. All right, so Zergling scouted that. This is something Hyuk should be aware is happening and maybe stop it. Oh, we're going drops, though. Yes, I talk about this all the time. You really want to go drops versus Terran if they're meching. If you don't do it and you just keep running across... Oh, my gosh. Hyuk. Hyuk, friend, your map awareness, though. I know you're worried about this. I know you're running open ground into a mech army, but at the same time, you're getting dropped up here and down here. And this needs to be a really successful push for you. And you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe it's incredibly successful, but your worker count is down to 28. Okay, these Vultures, 7 and 5 kills each. That should not be happening. 7 and 7 kills each. Okay, well, no. Nope. This drop is nice. It's fine. It's really good, in fact. The tanks are all going to die, which is a fantastic play. A bunch of SCVs are going to die, but you have 31 workers back home. The tanks managed to sort of escape. One of them does. The other one does go down. The Lings did force a lift off on that command center, at least. Okay, so Lurker shut this entire base down. Goliaths are not going to be a good answer to this, and SCV wanders through the death zone and manages to escape somehow, some way. It's 186 to 165 supply. Back up to 42 drones. We're trying to replace our workers here, which is fine, but it means you have less larva available for army, and you're going to max out slower. You know what's been really good today, says Sharp? It's drops. Yes, my drops have been more effective than the Zerg player's drops. Losers, okay. Hyuk is not. He's not pulling drones, boys. I don't understand. I mean, once, sure. But having this happen finally pulls these guys before every one of them goes down. Which seems like a lot. 192 supply here for Sharp, only 165 for Hyuk. He's down 30 workers. His army supply is about even, which against a meching Terran player, you don't want your supply to be about even. Spider Mines clearing out dem Hydralisks. And, man, Sharp's just doing what he needs to do. He's being active with the Vultures out on the map. They're not sitting home and defending. He's working on his tank count. He's working on getting that 3-3. 3 attack is already done for his mech here at 20 minutes. And Hyuk, he's on 5 bases. The 12 o'clock is here now. The Vultures recognize what's happening. They kill every one of the drones at the base. And maybe all the Hydralisks too, maybe. The Hydras are at 3 armor, which makes them harder to kill, but they don't kill the Vultures very fast. These are the trade-offs we make when you skip one side of the upgrades. Is this another base? Yeah, this is just an SCV transfer down the right side. I mean, this has been... the one thing I think Hyuk needed to do here that he didn't do for a reason, again, I don't understand, is pulling drones when they're being killed by Vultures. Or anything, honestly. Man, they wander in, they kill every single one of the drones, and they get out. I wish there was a way to see how many workers had died in this game. That is one thing I wish they would introduce, but that's probably asking too much. That's an empty dropship. Is that a fake out? Oh, it's a boxer maneuver play. Oh, he's irradiating the overlords that have ultras in them. Unload! But then you have to unload on the... Oh! Okay. That, I think that's it. This game is... It's not over, but the Terran's up by 50 supply. This dropship, which was a fake dropship and was empty the whole time, manages to escape because Vultures sacrificed their own lives for that dropship pilot. She's very thankful, I'm sure. And the drop attempt gets completely sniffed out. That... I'm not... I feel like that was just an act of... Ooh, dropship sniped by Scourge. Ooh, hitting the engineering bay. Not what you want to do there. Yeah, I really feel like those science vessels were coming up here anyway to boxer maneuver something, and then they just happened to see the overlords coming out and irradiated them and killed. I think there were at least 4 ultras in those. There might have been more. Hyuk fighting, though. Hyuk is fighting hard. He's not giving up. He's producing 4 ultras at a time. 6 Zerglings. Working on that missile attack upgrade, which he's been neglecting so far in this game. Still has a 0 there. Also getting +2 melee attack. We're at 6 armor for the Ultralisks. We got another... Again, if Hyuk is showing an inability to recognize he's getting dropped until it's too late today, let's just drop him into oblivion. I don't think this is a bad strategy for Sharp at all. Yep. So that's happening. Absolutely insanity. The drops have been so good. This is not good as good as the drops as the Ample versus Queen replay that I cast about. For some people, it was a week ago. For some people, it was a month ago. But Queen versus Ample, if you didn't check that one out and you like TVZ, check it out. Ample is an up-and-coming Terran player. There's no question about it. Yeah, I mean, look. I don't feel great about the Zerg here because I don't feel great about the Zerg when they're up 50 supply against a meching Terran player. When they're down on... Oh, hang on. When they're... Okay, they're a little bit up on supply against the meching Terran player. The tank count is insane, but we do catch them unsieged a little bit. Which, working out here. Unsieged tanks are fighting hard. Ultralisks unsieged are also fighting hard. Defensive matrix on that siege tank does not keep him alive forever, but keeps him alive for a little bit longer. That's how that spell works. So Lurker stabbing away with his +0 attacks, and that tank goes down too. So Lurker down thanks to a scan. It's 174 to 145 supply after that battle. I mean, we are looking... This is just... The cost effectiveness of these battles are favoring the Terran player immensely. The fact that he's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he's basically on 6 bases. The Zerg player has not taken these minerals only bases up here. Are we still trying to... A little bit. We're building a ton of missile turrets in the middle of the map because at this point, why not? We are sharp. We have conquered. 199 to 149 supply. The income disparity here is just through the roof for the Terran. And if that's the case, if you are out-incoming your Zerg opponent and you're meching them, you're probably going to win. I'm going to give you a 95% chance of getting that victory. I mean, these ultras are running into meat grinders. It's 1 ultra versus 20 tanks. That's not favorable exchanges, and that's it, man. Hyuk leaves the game at 25.5 minutes, and Sharp is your winner. Oh, that was incredible. Great game by Sharp there. Got a TVZ win. Good game, Terran. Terran fans are happy. Yeah, so I don't know, we're a bio in the early game, into the mid game, and then all of a sudden it was mech with 3 upgrades. I'm not entirely sure what I need to say here other than Hyuk, again, just needed to pull his drones away when they were getting killed and maybe check this base with the Zergling, right? You could have shut it down. You could have shut this down and it kept Sharp on 3 bases, and maybe that would have been enough to win. You never know. All right, so... Wow. All right, end of the day, 25 minutes and 50 seconds. 199,000 points for Sharp. 168 for Hyuk in this 4K Brood War cast. Ended up outproducing the Zerg. That's never good. Outkilling the Zerg. Yep. And losing fewer units as well. That's entirely reasonable. Buildings raised. It's relevant when there's a Zerg in play. And Sharp out mineral mines and almost evenly spends the Zerg player there. The Zerg at 57,000 resources and Sharp at 56,000 resources. And that's the play. Yeah. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Just... You can't beat a Terran unless you outspend them, right? Outspend them by more than like 1,000 resources. Like 10,000 or 15,000 would do it. But yeah, I think just Huck wasn't on his game today. So Sharp was and Hyuk wasn't. And that's it. So that's going to be it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin with another Patreon cast in 4K. Which just means it's very high quality for those of you who don't know what that means. Coming at you with another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.